certainly made sure that anything that came his way, or just about anything that came his way, he managed to get in front of.
Yeah, what an afternoon he's had. Come up with, you know, big save after big save, even, you know, at times taking the pressure off, coming and getting punches for crosses coming into the box, coming and catching them, and his reflexes. It just, I know he's conceded 2 goals, and he maybe look at, you know, his performance and be critical because that's the nature of, you know, a professional player. But overall, I think that's a game where he'll remember for a long time, and that everything that he seemed to do come off. And I understand, you know, Ryan saying they had a bit of luck. I think it was a mixture of poor finishing and outstanding defending from Livingston as a team. So I think that you take the plaudits when you get them, and don't put it down to luck, put it down to good organisation and good defending.
Well, let's take a look now at the big talking point from this game. Happened right at the end of the match. Nothing given. Rangers thought they should have had a penalty. Cammy Kerr with the challenge on Mikey Moore. Let's take a look at it. First of all, is it a foul? And where does it take place? Those are the 2 things that the officials are looking.
Well, it's without a doubt a foul. So, you know, we sometimes criticise VAR up here, but I think the criticism on this occasion has got to come from the referee, Ryan Lee. You know, the fact he's not given a foul in the first place, but VAR's had a look, and I think you can see here the initial point of contact looks as if it's just outside the box. Yes, there's a continuation into the box for Mikey Moore, but I think when Cammy Kerr lunges in, I think his first point of contact on, I think it's Mikey Moore's left leg is just outside.
Yeah, the other thing they're looking at as well is he denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity.
No,
but
it doesn't look as if he's is. You can see somebody's in the cover there. And I know, look, because it was so close, and you know, there will be Rangers fans out there extremely disappointed, but the reality is it's not a penalty kick, not a dog's. You can see there's cover there. So, I mean, as I said, a lot of Rangers fans out there unhappy with the decision, but it is the correct one in the laws of the game. You can see that, yes, Cammy Kerr's foot by the time he slides, but the initial contact you can clearly see is Andy touched on to start with. Had it been pulling and it continued into the box, then it would have been given a penalty. Had it been on the line, it would have been given a penalty. But VAR can't get involved. Once they've realised, once they've came to the decision that it isn't a dog zone, they can't then, because it's outside the box, give a penalty kick.
See, we've seen 3 or 4 red cards over the last couple of weeks where guys getting brought down at the halfway line. I think if Mikey Moore isn't fouled there, he's volleying the ball towards goal. So it's not as if he's trying to take a touch into the box when, yes, there is a covering defender, but Mikey Moore's ready to take a strike. He's ready to take a volley. So for me, I think that is a red card and a foul. I don't think it's a penalty kick. As you said, you can see the initial contact is outside the box. But for me, I think Mikey Moore's about to take a strike and he can't because he's impeded.
So you think red card, James? What do you think?
I mean, I was surprised when it was just restart with Livingston having the ball because the referee. I think it's one where, and I know that VAR's in there to you know, fix mistakes by the referee or spot things that the referee misses. I think that's an easier decision for the ref to give a foul initially, because Cammy Kerr's coming from the wrong side. He tackles with the wrong foot as well. For, you know, sometimes you get it where they slide in and they hook the leg round and get a touch on the ball before they catch the player. I thought it was a foul. You know,
I don't think it is a foul.
I know, but I mean the awarding of it. Yeah. So then when they don't give it, when he doesn't give it, I understand the point, but I think there could be a block on there. I know he's having a shot. I think there could be a block. You'd have to say that he 100% is getting a clear shot at goal there.
But I don't know if he is. So, for example, the red cards we've seen for the past, you know, Liam Henderson's foul, Liam Gordon's foul. You can't tell us conclusively that they're getting a shot. They've been brought down to the halfway line. Now there's a much more of a chance of Mikey Moore getting a shot away, which would be a goal-scoring opportunity than some of the red cards we've seen over the last week or so.
No, I think it's a foul. It's outside the box, not a penalty. I don't think for sure you're saying that's definitely, you know, a goal-scoring opportunity. I know that he looks like he's winding up to take a shot, but I think then it's difficult to see because the defenders in close proximity. And I agree with you. We've seen a lot of them where I think they've been wrong. I think they've been wrong. I think that the issue I would have is that the referee on field doesn't give a foul for that. When you
and that's the problem.
That's an issue that we're facing. Yeah. That is one of the problems we've got.
Is it easier for referees to wait for
they're relying on
VAR?
They are relying on VAR to bail them out a lot of times. And then even when referees make decisions on the pitch, all of a sudden it's a case of, why they're not getting checked, and then they're scared to make those decisions. So for me, I think on the pitch, it should have been, I mean, it's clear as day, it is a foul. There is no getting away from it. Sliding in from that angle, it is a foul. But We can't criticise and say we don't want the game re-refereed, but then looking to have it re-refereed when incidents like that happen, because it is outside the box. The laws of the game tell you that unless it's inside, then you can't get involved in it. I mean, VAR has done their job.
But that will be the big frustration for Rangers fans, for Danny Rowe, for Rangers, is that the referee didn't make the decision and they didn't get an opportunity to take the free kick, because VAR cannot then award that free kick.
Once they say that it's not a dog zone, once they say it's not in the box, then they can't get involved. They cannot get involved. And then you've got to go with your on-field decision, which was wrong. We're not denying that. The referee called it wrong on the pitch. It was a foul. VAR agreed it was a foul, but they can't go back because it's outside the box.
Yeah, well, that I think actually does clear it up for a change. Let's head back to the goals. It feels a long, long time ago that Livingston took the lead in this game, and what a finish it was from Kabongolo.
It's an incredible finish. You know, it's a fantastic delivery, and it comes in quite flat. It looks as if there's a couple of Rangers players in front that could potentially head it. So I don't know how sighted Kabongolo actually is when the ball comes in. But I mean, the finish it's incredible. Boydie spoke about it before. I think it would be so much more natural to go with your instep and try and guide it into one of the corners. But the fact he hits it with his laces, it's an incredible strike. And usually you'd be quite critical of your goalkeeper if he's getting beaten in the near post. But for me, it leaves Jack Butland absolutely no chance with how he strikes the ball. I
think if you're going to be critical from a Rangers point of view, if you're going to be critical of that lineup, when you look at it, there's gaps to that. If you're going to go zonal, I mean, I don't know if we can bring it back up. If you're going to go zonal, you can't allow players to get through there. You've got to be tucked in, be narrow.
Tough delivery though to defend that flat ball.
It is, but you know that's why you set up like that.
But that's even how high the line is. That's, you know, you're enticing or you're daring Livingston to go and put it in there so you can deal with it, because you need to close your lines off and not allow runners.
Plus, I think as well, James, when you actually look at it, Rangers' back line is running back towards the goal facing it. You would actually, I mean, if you look at, I think it might be Chermiti. As it's Chermiti there, it's an outstretched. Even Fernandez get back there. You've got to drop a couple of yards there, and you're still. If you drop back a couple of yards and you're still facing the ball, you've got a better chance. I mean, it's terrible defending, but I mean, it's an outstanding finish. As you say, look at that for an attempt to header it there. You've got to give yourself in a far better position. So if you're a couple of yards back, you can then go and attack it. You can't be running back to your own goal.
Like you says as well, Boydie, I think it's the combination of Mikey Moore and Chupwani. They have to make contact. They can't just let Kabongolo get a free run.
You would expect that to be switched as well. You'd expect potentially Mikey Moore to be the outside one, so that you're strong there. And if it does get overhit, OK, you can win the first contact, but then you're set to win the second. But look, I think the delivery and the finish deserves the praise it's getting. It's outstanding.
And their second goal was also very, very nice from a midfielder's perspective. The little ball from Dan. So how much did you enjoy that? And he's a player we know who has the ability to pick out these little passes, and a great finish again. It's
outstanding. I mean, the amount of times that I felt that Rangers had the ball when opposing that area of the pitch and chose for a shot and blazed it over the bar and allowed Livingston to reset. It's a great pick out, and it's a great touch and finish as well for Smith. I do question, I think it's Nico Raskin that doesn't quite get enough height and distance on the clearance, so I think he's just trying to rectify his mistake and get close to the ball. But I think somebody within the Rangers backline, to me probably James Tavernier, has to see the danger in Smith and start to fill that gap that Raskin gives away. So I think it's really poor goal to concede for Rangers' point of view, but again, take nothing away for great football for Livingston.
It's brilliant because they were under a period of pressure where it looked like Rangers were going to go and get the equaliser, and then they've got very few sightings at goal. It'd be easy for Danzo to try and force it and take the shot on. The weight of the pass is perfect onto the back foot of Lewis Smith, so he can take a touch and fire it. It's a brilliant goal again for Livingston. You have to give them credit for that.
I think on that as well, though, James, when you actually look at it, Nico Raskin, as you say, clears it, then goes charging after it. He's got to identify as well that the potential danger here is on my right-hand side. Because
possibly also expecting the ball to come straight back.
Yeah, but even if because there was 2 or 3 Rangers players central as well, one of them, I mean, you see Romans then tries to get round to cover on the right-hand side, whereas Raskin there, he's got to, I know what you could say, go and charge, but he has to identify there that Smith's there. He knows he's there because he can see him in his eye line when he clears it, because there's absolutely no way that anyone else is getting to him there. So as soon as he goes charging out there, he just vacates that area there. James Tavernier tries to get across, Romans tries to get across, but it's too late because it's a fantastic touch from Smith as well. Sets himself straight across Jack Butland there. But from Rangers' point of view, again, it's really, really poor defending.
Yeah, 2 goals in 2 games now for Lewis Smith. We spoke about in pre-match about him moving a little bit more central in the threat that he carried, and it was a shame in a way that it was him that was that was taken off when the red card for Montano was shown, and he can't really have any complaints, can he, Christian Montano, over this one?
No, I mean, Marvin Bartley can though, because it's really poor defending. You know, he goes out, you look at the gap in between Montano and Ryan McGowan. The danger is always that inside pass. You know, if that pass is played in front of him, he's got time to go and press and put Gassama under pressure. He's going and standing so close to Gassama that Andy said at half-time, if someone's willing to run in behind, that's not a difficult pass to make because of the gap so big between McGowan and Montano. He gets caught wrong side, it's a desperate lunge, and it's a red card. There's absolutely no doubt. And Lewis Smith's the one that makes way, but not because his performance, just, you know, understandable that you want to keep that physicality up front. You've got, you know, a chance to go and see out the game. I don't think it's anything to do with his performance, but he can have no complaints. It's just poor defending. One moment, switch off, and we praise Livingston for their organisation, how well they defended their box, how much pressure they tried to put Rangers on when it was a chance to maybe try and block the cross or stop the cross, get blocks at shots, goalkeeper taking the pressure off, and then, you know, one lapse in concentration totally brings the momentum back to Rangers. But, you know, they'll still be delighted they've held it for the draw.
Can he not go with his right foot there? I think when he's coming in there, he's trying to get back in his left-hand side. Yeah.
Desperation.
Yeah.
I think he knows it's just running away from him. I think that positionally he needs to be narrower. If he's narrower, that pass isn't even attempted. If it is, it's in the air. It's more than likely, the way that we watched Rangers all afternoon, it's played in front of him, where they can either try and intercept it, or he can go and put pressure on Gassama and allow his team to shuffle.
The thing is as well, Faddy, whether it was Scott Wilson in the first half or Gassama in the second half, Montano dealt with the two of them extremely well when the ball was in front of him and allowed them to go 1v1. So, like Faddy said, that's the occasion where he just got his positioning wrong. You know, it was far too detached for Ryan McGowan, just leave that easy pass inside.
And Livingston were under pressure already at that point in the game to go down to 10. You sort of wondered how long would it be that they could hold out and defend the way that they were, and Fernandez, with an absolutely superb strike, eventually got Rangers back into it and kind of got the momentum going their way again. Yeah,
I think this actually came in a period where I thought that Rangers didn't really look as if they were going to get a goal. I thought Livingston defended their box extremely well, and like, if Rangers did breach them, it was Jerome Prior that was pulling off stops. So I think this is one of the more difficult chances that Fernandez had throughout the game. You can see as it just comes out to him, he's got no other thought in his mind just to shift it out for his right foot and have a strike at goal, and what a finish it is. And you just felt the momentum completely shift. You could see the celebration for the Rangers players trying to grab the ball and get back to kick off as soon as possible. And obviously they managed to get that second, but not enough time to...
Surprised Prior never kept it. He kept everything else.
The power on the shot, though, he did get a hand to it.
Marvin Bartley will be fuming though with Stevie May when he goes out there. Like, you're in that position, you've got to deal with it. You've got to... I mean, you can give away a corner, you can maybe give away a throw-in, but you can't allow Bajrami to get back that side of you, because you've absolutely no chance of getting back. And it gave Rangers a lifeline, because yes, they'd been knocking on the door, but hadn't really looked as if they were going to score, and then all of a sudden starts to build a lot of momentum.
Yeah, that's what happens when you've got your 2-goal lead and Rangers are pushing bodies forward. I mean, Fernandez scored that from inside the box, he's a centre-back. So they're pushing, they've got an extra man as it is, but it'll feel like they've maybe 2 or 3 extra men, and you're then, you know, trying to make the right decision. He will be disappointed, but
I think as well, when Stevie May in that wide area and you look up and there's nobody upfield, you don't want to just launch it long. You think, right, I'll try and keep it, but you cannot lose it inside there. Can't.
Yeah, and then Rangers again, bodies in the box, a lovely ball in from Tavernier. We've seen him do it so many times before, and the little glancing header from Mikey Moore gets Rangers a point.
I think Faddy touched on it just a couple of minutes ago. I think Rangers' delivery for the most part of the second half, whether the final ball wasn't right or Livingston defending the box extremely well, but this is probably the one that James Tavernier gets right. And you can see as the ball comes in, Rangers have 6 bodies in the box, 7 bodies in the box in fact, and Mikey Moore just has that run for deep. No one in the Livingston jerseys, unfortunately for them, is close enough to him, and it's a great header, just glances it into the far corner. You know, at that point in time we then got 9 minutes flashed on, so they knew they had to defend for another at least 11 minutes, but you know, for their point, thankfully they managed to do so. Yeah,
I mean, we've spoken a lot about how the managers will feel about the defending for all the goals, and again there will be frustration because Livingston also had bodies in the box. It was that little movement from Mikey Moore that just pulled away from the defender.
It's just a striker instinct. Nobody switches off. You know, you can see there he sees, I mean, he quite clearly sees Mikey Moore, and you know, when he's coming across in there. But by the time he reacts, it's just a striker, because they always think, oh, somebody will deal with it behind me. How can I get closer to the opposition goal? That's always a striker's mindset. But for in that moment, when you're down to 10 men, get yourself backside and try and...
It's the one as well where your guy heads it and you go, I should have been back.
It's me. If I'd only moved a couple of yards, been there a few times. But listen, it was a good ball in, great header from Mikey Moore, and you just felt as if Rangers after that were going to go and find a winner. I've got to say, yes, you know, that we can speak about the penalty incident after, but after that the kind of game just died a death. That was it, done.
Because you kept taking shots. It ended up just desperate mode, and they started shooting for 25-30 yards out, and they had so many bodies in the box. I thought Rangers' game management towards the end was poor. You know, I think they lost a wee bit of control. Balls going out for goal kicks and fouls that allowed Livingston to obviously take their time and get bodies up the box. And I think for a Livingston point of view, I thought they'd seen out the game really well.
They did indeed, and they get a point, a very, very vital point. But from 2-0 up, perhaps Marvin Bartley will feel like he could have got his first win in the dugout. For Danny Rule, though, it is another game without defeat.